Today we're diving into a wild, twisted take on a classic fairy tale, The Ugly Stepsister, 2025, written and directed by Emily Blichfeld. This one skewers beauty standards, family dynamics, and the Cinderella myth, but in a visceral, body horror kind of way. I'll give you a quick review, talk about the symbolism, characters, themes, and then break down some of the key scenes. Let's get into it. The film centers on Elvira, one of the ugly stepsisters in a Cinderella-inspired world. Rather than focusing on Cinderella herself, it tells the story from Elvira's side, overshadowed by her beautiful stepsister, pressured by her ambitious stepmother to become desirable, and willing to go to extreme lengths to win the prince's favor. From a review standpoint, the film is bold and disturbing in exactly the way it needs to be for this kind of story. It doesn't shy away from grotesque imagery or the cruelty of a beauty-obsessed world. It blends gothic horror, fairy tale subversion, and dark comedy to powerful effect. On the downside, the pacing can feel uneven, and the heavy imagery might exhaust some viewers. Some of the scenes felt unnecessary and weird, but if you're into body horror and fantasy, this one hits hard. It's strong, daring, and unforgettable, as long as you're ready for some serious body horror. One of the major themes of this film is the obsession with beauty and how it's enforced by society, family, and patriarchy. Elvira doesn't simply want to be beautiful. She's told she must be, so she can win social status, love, and security. Her stepmother becomes the enforcer of those standards, pushing her to transform herself, no matter the cost. The story flips the Cinderella myth, making the so-called ugly stepsister the protagonist. It forces us to question who gets centered in fairy tales and whose suffering we ignore. The body horror elements, the nose reshaping, eyelash sewing, and tapeworm diet. The setting feels like a dark 19th century European world, giving the film a fairy tale look mixed with grim realism. Costumes, lighting, and set design all highlight the theme that beauty is pain, and pain becomes spectacle. Now for the characters. Elvira, played by Leah Myron, is the heart of the film, torn between ambition, shame, and self-doubt. Agnes, her beautiful stepsister, played by Thea Sophie Loch Ness, starts as the typical favorite, but becomes more complex as the story unfolds. The stepmother, Rebecca, played by Annie Dahl-Torp, represents the relentless pressure to achieve social status through beauty. And Alma, the younger sister, stands as the innocent contrast to the corruption around her. The chemistry and rivalry between these women drive the film. Each one is trapped in a different way by the same impossible expectations. Now let's break down a few key scenes. The makeover sequence where Elvira undergoes brutal cosmetic procedures is horrifying yet deeply emotional. It's the film's core moment, showing how far she'll go to be accepted. The tapeworm diet scene pushes the limits of body horror. It's grotesque but perfectly captures the self-destructive lengths people take to fit in. The ballroom scene, a twisted version of Cinderella's moment of triumph, flips the fairy tale ending. The film doesn't offer a happily ever after. Instead, it forces us to confront what's been lost in the pursuit of beauty. There's also the scene showing physical decay and rot, a literal depiction of how the obsession with appearance eats away at what's human underneath. What works about this film is its bold premise. Focusing on the stepsister instead of Cinderella is fresh and unsettling. The performances, especially from Leah Myron, are raw and emotional. The production design is hauntingly beautiful, and the themes resonate deeply with modern audiences. What doesn't work as well is the pacing, which can drag in parts. The shock factor might overwhelm some viewers, and the message, while powerful, can feel heavy-handed at times. But even with these flaws, it remains one of the most striking reinterpretations of a fairy tale in years. In conclusion, The Ugly Stepsister isn't your typical fairy tale retelling. It's a dark body horror reflection on beauty, envy, and identity. If you like horror films that challenge you and make you uncomfortable in a meaningful way, this one's worth watching. My final score is 7 out of 10, ambitious, bold, and haunting, though definitely not for everyone. Thanks so much for watching this review and breakdown of The Ugly Stepsister. If you've seen it already, let me know your thoughts in the comments. What scene hit you the hardest? And if you haven't watched it yet, are you ready for something this dark and unsettling?